Hello everyone, welcome to the Progress Report tutorial video. This video is designed to guide implementing partners through the Progress Report Excel template used for CCAC project reporting. The aim of this walkthrough is to explain how the template is structured and how each section shall be completed step by step to ensure accurate and consistent reporting. Over the course of this video, we will first talk about the reporting periods in the context of CCAC projects. We will then walk through each step of the progress report template and explain where and how information is entered. Before looking at the template itself, it is important to understand how CCAC reporting cycles work. Project reporting normally takes place every 6 months throughout the lifetime of a project. The signed project agreement specifies the exact reporting deadlines, but progress reports are due the 15th of July, covering the first 6 months of the year, and the 15th of January, covering 1st July to 31st December. These reporting moments continue until the project is completed. A final report is then submitted 2 months after the end of activities, but then again, these will be specified in the reporting schedule which you will find in the agreement. Additional reporting requirements such as audit reports could be applicable depending on the type of agreement. The progress report Excel template is designed to be used for the entire duration of the project to report on expenditure. This means that the same file is reused for each reporting cycle rather than creating a new file every time. Within the template, each reporting period has its own dedicated sections identified by color and clearly labeled. Information provided for previous reporting periods will remain visible in the file. Once a reporting period has been reviewed and approved by CCAC, those sections are logged and can no longer be edited. For this reason, new information can always be entered only in the section corresponding to the current reporting period.
In the next section of this video, we will review the Progress Report Excel template in detail, examining each tab step by step. The template includes the Dashboard tab, the Signature Page tab, the Narrative tab, the Expenditure tab, the Outputs, and the Outcomes. Let's now review the Dashboard tab together. The dashboard provides a consolidated overview of the project's progress. It displays the status of activities, outputs, and outcomes, as well as a summary comparing reported expenditure against the approved budget. These figures and indicators are updated automatically based on information entered elsewhere in the template. Please note that no data entry is required or possible in the dashboard. This tab contains formulas that pull information from the other sheets, and editing it may affect how the file functions. The dashboard is used exclusively as a reference tool, providing an overall overview of reporting, facilitating the identification of budget variances, and supporting the completion of the status summary on the signature page. Next, we move to the signature page. The period of each reporting cycle will be specified in the template based on the agreement schedule. Partners should complete only the section corresponding to the current reporting period. Information from earlier periods will be locked, so cannot be deleted or modified. If a correction to previously approved data is needed, partners may contact their dedicated project manager before making any changes. In the schedule part, please enter any information on the overall timeline, any delays, and how these are expected to impact the rest of the project. For the budget, please provide a summary of the expenditure rate and any other relevant remarks. The scope refers to the overall project scope. If there is nothing to remark on, you can write that there have been no changes to the scope. Please also note that any substantial changes needed to the scope always require prior consultation and approval by CCAC. The total amount of payments received to date are expressed in US dollars. Please indicate the total amount received here, excluding any bank fees. In addition, the signature page requires the insertion of the implementing organization logo and the signature of an authorized signatory. The signature may be added digitally or manually signed, scanned, and inserted into the file. If preferred, a signed PDF version of the signature page can be submitted together with the Excel progress report instead of placing the signature into the Excel. We now move to the narrative report tab, which forms the core of progress reporting, and it's one of the most important sections of the progress report. The gray columns are pre-filled and reflect the approved implementation plan. These fields are locked and cannot be edited. The colored columns represent individual reporting period. For each activity, output and outcome listed, partners reports on the status at the end of the period, the progress made during that period, any relevant variance or deviation, the next steps, and proof of delivery where applicable. All fields corresponding to the current reporting period need to be completed. The reporting is always based on the delivery date. This means that if the date has passed, the status should be marked either as completed or, in another case, as delayed. If the activity has not started but is not yet due, not started can be selected. For activities that are underway and not yet due but are expected to be delivered on time, you can select on track. Leaving cells blank may delay approval of the report. Please also ensure that type of document column, last column of each period, is always completed in order to enable the next reporting period.
So now let's move on to the expenditures tab. This is where you will report all project expenditures. Let's go through it together step by step. First, you will notice these gray columns. These show the approved project budget and they are fixed, so you won't be able to edit them. Right next to them, you will find the columns where you will enter your expenditures for each reporting period. For each line, enter the amount in US dollar and include a short comment whenever additional context may be helpful. If there was no expenditure under a specific budget line during a reporting period, just enter 0. If this is your first report, you will only need to complete the first set of columns. And as the project progresses, you will continue using the next column for each new reporting period. So if it's the first one, you will complete these two, and as the project progresses, you will complete the others. Here is an important tip. Make sure you always complete the comments column, which is the last column of each reporting period. This step is required to unlock the next reporting section. Once a reporting period is approved, the data becomes locked and cannot be edited. If you later identify any adjustment, you can reach out the CCAC project manager for support on how to reflect it. Also, please keep in mind that the total agreement budget cannot be exceeded, and any variation above 10% across cost categories should be discussed and approved in advance by the CCAC, as it may require an amendment. Let's see together the total expenditure columns. So in this column B, W, and X is where you can see the variance. This field is automatically calculated and shows the difference between the planned budget and the total actual expenditures across all reporting periods, both as an amount as a percentage. This gives you a quick and useful snapshot of how your spending is tracking against the original plan. So we now turn to the Outputs tab. This time becomes only available after an output has been marked as complete in the narrative report. If you see that the rows are grayed out, it indicates that the corresponding output has not yet been marked as completed. Once an output is completed, partners can report on the associated performance indicators, quantities delivered, and any applicable desegregation information. They also identify pollutants addressed and upload or link relevant supporting documentation such as reports, guidelines, or policies. A tip here: each output is reported once. After it has been completed, there is no need to be updated again for the future reporting periods. And finally, we reach the outcome tabs. This section can be completed in the final report of the project. Here, partners indicate how the outcome was achieved, and they also report on the quantities delivered and any other relevant documentation or references. All required fields for completed outcomes should be filled in before the report is submitted. Final closure report. What is that? So, in addition to the final report, CCAC asks implementers to fill and submit a project closure report. This is a Word document. In this document, the implementer can add information and lesson learned and recommended next steps and any other relevant information of the projects. Now that we have covered the reporting process, let's turn to the payment schedule. So, when can you expect to receive payments? Well, in addition to the reporting schedule, the agreement also defines how payments are disbursed. The first payment is released upon counter signature of the agreement. After that, subsequent payments are made, and provided that your report shows that at least 70% of the previous payment has been spent. Once the report is approved, the next payment is processed within the following weeks. For further details, please refer to your agreement where the full payment schedule is outlined.
Before we conclude, let's quickly recap a few key points. The first is data integrity. Always make sure you are entering information in the correct reporting period, and remember that data from previous periods should not be deleted or changed. If adjustments to previously reported amounts are needed, please reflect them in the current reporting period. Then we have budget alignment. In the event of a project revision, note that the reporting template will be updated to reflect the most recently approved budget. Then we have formatting precision. Please ensure that all financial figures are reported using the correct decimal format. Then we have quality assurance. You can also use the dashboard as a final check to confirm everything looks consistent before you submit your report. Then we have compliance monitoring. Please also note that UNEP has recently operationalized a systematic monitoring and implementing partner risk flagging framework, and which overdue reporting is regularly reviewed as part of standard partnership monitoring processes. And finally, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your project manager. Thank you very much for your time and your continued collaboration. We hope this tutorial helps make completing the progress report in a clear and easy way. And again, if you have any additional questions, please contact your project manager.